Yo, top of the morning, man. Today is September the 26th. Let's see if we can get after it yet again. We got a quick review, quick recap of yesterday's WNBA games, and then we'll talk about just a couple of games for Sunday NFL football and Thursday night football as well. I do want to talk one of the games out for Sunday. See what you guys are thinking, but I got a play that I want to share for Thursday night football. So we'll jump into that, get into a couple of the comments, and get out of here. Because like I said, I didn't get a chance to go through the whole NFL Sunday card, but it's a couple of things I want to talk about. So let's get into a quick recap. Yesterday, Nalissa Smith, under her 12.5 points plus rebounds, was absolutely free, man. She ended up getting pulled out of the starting lineup for Timmy Fountain Bagley, and she played just a few minutes. I think she finished with 3 rebounds, no points. So easy winner on Nalissa Smith. Also easy winner on Bree Jones, if you guys took that. Under her 12.5 points, under her 13.5 points. They both were pretty free as well. I talked about her just being in a really bad matchup. And Minnesota, the Minnesota Lynx, I fell asleep at the end of the third quarter. Woke up, they had 100 points. So up and over 84.5, 85.5 for their team total was also free money as well last night. WNBA continues to treat us really, really well since the playoffs started. 9-2 on official plays in the WNBA, up 6 units, a little over 6 units for the playoffs. Meaningful basketball is good basketball. So hopefully we can build on that, man, and cash a Thursday night ticket as well. And then look forward to the semifinals in the WNBA that start this weekend. I think they start on Sunday, so we'll see what we can do. Let's see what we got here. Sioka, returning as a member. Appreciate you for joining back in, renewing that membership. What up to my guy Justin? Says top of the morning. What up, Justin? Hope all is well with you, bro, and your daughter. Bissy says, what's up, Chris in chat? Alyssa Thomas, 10-10, plus 250 was light work. Yeah, you could tell Connecticut wasn't going to back away last night. They did not want to go to Indiana. And, pretty heartbreaking depending on how you had the spread, because, man, I don't know if people watched it or not, but Kelsey Mitchell, goes to the lane and gets a bucket with no time left that is meaningless. So glad I stayed off the spread. Glad I stayed off the total. I did lean towards the under. It's trending towards the under. I think it was almost 60 points scored in the fourth quarter before the game crept up and over the total. Alex said he got to the bag last night. Love to hear that. He said that Nalissa Smith play was the easiest bread in the world. Yeah, that's probably one of the easiest plays I've ever bet in my life. Wish it was a 3-4 unit play, honestly, but you take the winnings and you keep it moving, man. I'm glad you cashed it, though, Alex. What up, Ness Best? He says, what's up, brother? Just got done sweating the NBL game. He said, it's fun. They let them boys play. It says, stay hot, bro. Yeah, stay hot to you as well, Ness Best. Hopefully all is going well with you, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, let's jump into some Thursday night football. We got the Dallas Cowboys. They will be at MetLife Stadium tonight, taking on the Giants in Rutherford, New Jersey, I think is where the Giants play football. Consensus line right now is 5.5 and total is 45.5. So the total dropped, I think it was 46, and the line moved. This opened Dallas laying 4.5. I vividly remember 4.5 right after Dallas lost to Baltimore. The opening line opened back up at 4.5. I don't know what the look ahead line was, but two teams kind of trending in the same direction, I guess. Public money, sharp money, whatever you want to call it, has come in on Dallas to kind of bounce back and get right in the spot after the Giants were able to go to Cleveland last week and get a big win. They needed a win in the worst way the Giants did. Daniel Jones hasn't looked too bad. They probably should have won week 2 against the Commanders. If they had a kicker, probably win that game, but they end up losing after getting smoked against Minnesota in week 1. So Minnesota, of course, has looked really good since then. So interesting game here. I feel like, Dallas has, in my opinion, they played the much more difficult schedule. You just played the much more difficult talent as well. So, just looking at Dallas, and I did have some notes for this game. Looking at Dallas, I look at, who they played against. And you had a Baltimore team last week that was coming off, probably one of the worst losses they've had in quite some time, losing to the Las Vegas Raiders in the fashion that they did, giving up a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. So you kind of knew that Lamar was going to come in and they were going to be extremely focused and they were going to run the ball, because that's what Dallas has struggled to, to stop throughout the season so far. I mean, they struggled to stop the run last year as well. And I do kind of feel like, Baltimore put their head down last week. I think Derrick Henry ran the ball 20 plus times, even though John Harbaugh said that's exactly what they wasn't going to do with him. And Dallas couldn't stop it. Dallas also struggles to stop the run too. There's two different things that really, really kind of impede Dallas from, being very, very successful. However, and then also, last thing I'll add is that if you've been just paying attention to, the trends in football in general, then you know that the dogs have been covering. Dogs of 5 or more, and I put this on the backside so you guys can see it. Dogs of 5 or more, 10-6 straight up. That's a hell of a record, just straight up on the money line. And 14-2 against the number so far. So teams have struggled to get separation and to win by margin so far in the, throughout the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. But when you look at Dak, and like I said, I do think it's a step down in competition. For the Dallas Cowboys, this is not the Baltimore Ravens again. I do think that the Giants are going to struggle to run the ball, just because I think Dallas is not playing against such an inferior defense. So Dak over his career, 12-2 straight up, 10-3 against 10-3-1 against the number against the Giants, and if he's playing on the road 5-1 straight up and against the spread in New York specifically. Like I said, Dallas struggled to stop the run, but I don't think that Devin Singletary is, Travis Henry, Derrick Henry is what that should say. I'm sorry. Derrick Henry or Alvin Kamara. I'm not of that belief. I think that the Giants are going to struggle. I think the Giants are going to struggle to score the football. Dallas typically plays them really, really well. And also, you look at the Giants, they are down a couple cornerbacks. And Darius Slayton, I think, is a nickel cornerback, and their right cornerback are, I think they've already been ruled out. And I wouldn't say number one wide receiver anymore because Malik Neighbors is there, but Darius Slayton is also listed as questionable. He's probably number 3 option behind Robinson. But I do think, and I put this in the opinion side, I do think without their key pieces to the secondary, I think it benefits, Dallas. I also just feel like the Giants secondary hasn't been tested over the last few weeks. You're not going to get a big test from Deshaun Watson. I think he has one of the lowest QBRs in the NFL right now. And then they also got, a very conservative Washington Commanders offense as well. I think Dak is going to open it up. The Dallas Cowboys lead the NFL in passing attempts and passing yards so far this season. I like Dallas here. And I did play it right before the show started. I grabbed the 5.5. It's 5.5 available on a lot of other sports books. So I'm bucking the trend this week of home dogs covering. I just think Dallas gets the bad taste out of their mouth, and I don't think that they overlook the Giants. I think it's a nice bounce back spot after they really got smoked last week against Baltimore before making it close late and losing that game by 3. So let's see what you guys think. I know I talked for a minute, and then I want to get into just a few more games. If y'all got games y'all want me to talk about, let me know, and I can look, especially if y'all got questions, just let me know. I can look some things up real quick while we got a couple minutes to chat. What up, Mark? He says, good morning, Chris and crew. Good day yesterday. Thank you. I'm glad you cashed, Mark. Glad you cashed, bro. Next Best says, as a Giant fans, I haven't capped this game yet, but I'm unsure yet if I like the Giants money line or Cowboys minus 20.5. Yeah, I think Dallas wins by more than a touchdown here, man. I definitely do. Justin says, about to put my daughter on the bus in 20 minutes. I know what that life is like, Justin. Know what that life is like for sure. Sam says, so much helpful information found here. Glad you and your peers are supporting cast members and business partners run such a smooth and good business. Yeah, appreciate that, Sean. Appreciate that for sure. Justin says, Dallas to score. He likes their team total up and over 25.5. I like it. Marks likes Dallas as well, minus the 5.5. So it sounds like some some agreement here. I also looked at Dak Prescott passing touchdowns. Dak Prescott passing touchdowns. Maybe people haven't got a chance to. I do some prop betting as well, and looking at Dak Prescott touchdowns, just 1.5 on FanDuel last night at -125. I think we drink that juice and take Dak to score 2 passing touchdowns as well. It's probably be a smaller play for me, but I do like Dak to score 2 touchdowns as well. The Giants, the Cowboys just don't have a great run attack at all. Zeke is like, it feels like in year number 20, his snap count has consistently dropped throughout the weeks. He went from 51% in week 1 to 40% in week 2 to 19% in week 3. So, I just think that if the Cowboys score, and I agree with Justin's look here on the team total to go up and over 25.5, I think that they can score 3 or 4 touchdowns here. And, Elliott is good from 60. He's the best kicker in the NFL. So if Dallas even gets close to midfield, it almost feels like it's free money. So I like that team total overlook. And I think it correlates with Dak to go up and over, his 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Giants have already given up 2 passing touchdowns in 2 weeks so far. They gave up 2 to Sam Darnold. They gave up 2 to Deshaun Watson. And Dak has had some really good, some successful games, hence 5-1 straight up and against the number, playing against the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium as well. So I like both of these. I like this look here with Cowboys team total over. Dak Prescott got to go up and over 1.5 passing touchdowns, I think, as well. What up, Trevor? He says he likes Diggs anytime touchdown. Diggs yards at anytime touchdown here. Justin also likes CeeDee Lamb. I couldn't talk you off, man. I like CeeDee in this spot as well. His yards was 80.5 yesterday. I talked about this on the Propcast yesterday. 80.5 says he laddered him to 108 as well for plus 275. Yeah, he has a very, very good history against just to put some numbers to what Justin is talking about. CeeDee had 11 receptions on 14 targets for 151 yards in his most recent game against this Giants defense. 4 receptions on 4 targets for 77 yards last season as well. Then he had a 6 reception on 11 targets for 106 yards, 8 receptions on 12 targets for 87 yards throughout the last 4 games. And I love that, he missed the media availability that could have, should have took place on Sunday after he fumbled early and then just had some really, really bad body language. But I like that he took accountability for the little temper tantrum that he threw on the sideline. He also talked about how him and, going through situations like that with Dak just make them stronger. There's a brotherhood between the two. And he says everything is really, really good between the two. So I like it. I also watched the Giants defense just give up, 7 catches on 12 targets for 86 yards to Amari Cooper. So if Amari Cooper can do that, I definitely think that, the highest paid wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb could do it as well. The Giants did defend Justin Jefferson pretty well in week 1. He only had 4 catches for 59 yards. Scary Terry only had 6 catches for 22 yards, but I like it. I like that a lot, Justin. I think it's correlated. If you like the Cowboys, then you like Dak Prescott, you like some CeeDee Lamb props. And that's the way I'm liking this. Mark says Dallas is the better team. Bissy says Dak over 35.5 pass attempts minus 115. Put it in his pocket. I kind of feel like they could have some success here on the ground, Bissy. So I was scared away from this one, just because I feel like Dallas gonna be playing from in front this week and not from behind. When I look at the Giants' rush defense, to add some numbers to it, they are giving up 5 yards a run, which is bottom 5 in the NFL. And they're giving up 131.7 yards per game as well, which is also bottom 10 in the NFL. So that scared me off just a little bit. I know Dallas hasn't been the greatest team at running the football. They actually number 1 in pass attempts per game at 42, and they're passing it for 270 yards per game. So it makes a lot of sense. But like I said, I kind of got scared off because I feel like they could just find a little bit of success. They are bottom 3 in all of the running metrics and yards, rushing yards per game, rushing yards per attempt, and rushing attempts per game. So that kept me off a little bit, but I hope you cash your Bitsy. Justin says Daniel Jones to go up and over his 31.5 rushing yards. He likes that as well. talk you off. Net says my boy Malik Neighbor is going to be a problem in this league. Malik Neighbors is nice. He is really, really nice. Yeah, I like Malik Neighbors a lot. And I think his props are probably appropriate in this game. I know Dallas knows what's coming because he's been targeted, I think, 12 times per game. He had 18 targets against the Commanders a couple games ago, and the Browns couldn't do anything with him, even though they knew he had 18 targets the game before. So, yeah, I mean, if you're the Cowboys, that's really all you got to do is be able to stop the run a little bit with Singletary, and put somebody on the league neighbors, make somebody else beat you in this offense. Sam says, sorry, not trying to slow the show. What does SU stand for? Straight up. If you see SU on the side, it's straight up. So that's just the win-loss versus ATS, which is against the spread. Y'all letting them know in the chat. Appreciate that. Jada, I know Darius Slade is wide receiver. I said it says New York is down 2 cornerbacks and Darius Slade. Not that he is a cornerback. He's not a cornerback. He plays wide receiver. I'm familiar. Yeah. Dallas money line, CeeDee Lamb 100 yards, Dak Prescott 250 pass touchdowns game says okay. Then says Dallas first half winner parlay. Thoughts on the Colts and the Steelers? Dropping Dom says. I'll get to this in a second. I'm actually kidding this. We'll go back to this real quick. What up, Jose? Gregory says I'm taking Dallas, so that means tonight Daniel Jones will look like Troy Aikman. I hope not, man. I hope he looked like Troy Aikman in the booth. Jose likes Dallas -7. Jasmine says, give me my Commanders +3 with the money line and the win in that game. So the Commanders are in a very interesting game this week, man. I know that the defense is not going to hold up. I think that, Kyler Murray is going to be able to do whatever he wants to. Kyler Murray scares me a lot. The Commanders run a lot of zone defense, and I think he's going to have some success against the zone this week and bounce back after seeing the Detroit Lions last week. But, man, I kind of want to take the Commanders too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm interested to know, if they flew. I'm pretty sure they did. They were in Cincinnati, probably flew back home. Then they got to go back to Arizona. So that's a lot of travel for the Commanders. One thing I don't like is that the Arizona defense, though. I think that game's probably an over game because I can't see the Commanders getting a lot of stops. I also can't see Arizona getting a lot of stops. You got 2 dual threat run, quarterbacks that should be able to utilize their weapons. I did see that Trey McBride, I think. McBride was listed. I don't know if he's going to play or not. That's a big, big weapon. But Marvin Harrison Jr. should absolutely have a field day. I mean, we just saw what Jamar Chase was able to do on Monday Night Football. He should absolutely have a big day. Mark says he'll tail the Dak over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Aubrey, not Elliott. My fault. You're right. Yeah, Aubrey. I'm thinking it's still Elliott. Aubrey is the field goal kicker. I got him on my fantasy team. He's money. Best kicker. I saw a graphic yesterday that said he had more fantasy points than Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. It's like a whole bunch of players that he's in front of right now. Just because, like I said, if Dallas gets on that side of the field, it's pretty money. Pretty easy. OJ says he likes Jake Ferguson over his 41.5 receiving yards here. Giants allowed yards at the tight end position. Devin Singletary anytime touchdown. Home team running back has scored touchdowns in all 3 Thursday night games. And I couldn't talk you off. I think I was looking at this, and I think it was one book that had plus money for Devin Singletary. I think it was like a plus 110 out there somewhere. Double check that. But I couldn't talk you off the Devin Singletary anytime touchdown. I think Jake Ferguson gets in again too, OJ. I think he had 11 or 12 receptions. 11 or 12 targets last week. I can see him being utilized in this game. And that was, first week coming back off the injury. So I can only imagine what he's going to be able to do in this game. I do think he's probably their second best option. Maybe Brandon Cooks gets there as well. See how it goes. Jasmine says Jaden Daniels threw 2+ touchdowns, 2+ passing 2+ passing yards off the ground. Dropping downs like Rico Dow over his 37.5 rushing yards. This is also something I looked at. He is, I think, by far, about to take over as the lead back in the Dallas backfield for people who haven't been paying attention. I mentioned the snap counts for for Zeke. And I actually had Zeke under 7.5 rush attempts on my short list. I didn't bet it. But like I said, the snap counts have just – they've been going opposite, right? Zeke is going down, and Dotto is definitely going up. I think 7.5 is rush attempts for Zeke today, and 10.5 is for Dotto. And Dotto he hasn't even started yet. So I could definitely see this happening. Like I said, I'm not a big believer in that Giants defense against the run. And I think that while Dallas hasn't been able to find success against the rush so far, we got to remember, man, Baltimore is the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. They're giving up 50 yards a game. You're not going to find that much success against them. They're just not giving up a lot of rushing yards. So I think it's some positive regression coming for Dallas being able to run the football here. Andrew says force feed CD. OJ says I'm on the under 45.5 as well. Giants are 28 and 12 and 2 to the under at home since Daniel Jones has been a starter. To put some more numbers to that, I looked into Daniel Jones coming off a win as a dog, and this stood out to me as well, LJ. He is 11 and 3 to the under. Games going under by an average of 5.5 points. I think a Giants team total under is probably in play in this game. Daniel Jones 11 and 3 to the under if he's coming off a win as a dog, which he is because they just beat Cleveland as a 6.5 point dog on the road. So I like this. I like that a lot. Back overs 1.5 passing touchdowns for Luke. Says that should be good money. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put a little bit on that as well. What up, Ball Talk? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Kristen. Derek, what up, bro? Hope all is well with you, man. He says, what's up, my boy? What up, Derek? Hope all is well with you and the fam, man. He said, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm on Dallas tonight. Let's cash it, Derek. I know you like your G-men. Let's cash it, though. I will be on Dallas tonight. Mark says, hey, seeing Zeke's fan. Yeah, Zeke is cooked. He's like that turkey that's been left in the oven for a tad bit too long on Thanksgiving morning. Mark, he is cooked, man. So next one I want to jump into just real quick, man. We won't be on this one for too long. But I guess kind of share my thoughts on this game and then, get what you guys, get your opinions as well. Let's see real quick. So we got the Bengals and the Carolina Panthers. So, if you're following football, the Bengals, gonna be at a rest disadvantage here. They're coming off the outright loss as a 7.5 point favorite against the Commanders. Absolutely got embarrassed in that game. A lot of it was not necessarily their offense, but more so their defense. This is not a good defense by any stretch of their imagination. When I did the season-long preview, I talked about the Bengals losing Reader, who was significant to them being able to stop the run last year. If you look at the metrics with him on and off the field, it was, completely night and day. And Cincinnati's defense has, just been really, really bad against the run, but also against the pass. They are getting gashed against the rush right now. 142 yards per game, which is bottom 5. Giving up. Teams are knowing that they can run the ball, running it 35 times against them per game, which is also 5th most as well. I think Carolina could play ball control here. I'm not really as interested in the spread, but remember I talked about this last week if you watched the NFL show that I did in the middle of the week. And I said, Carolina should be able to score. I'm interested in them, like now that we saw the change with Andy Dalton, even before seeing the changes, I'm just like, man, this team total is a tad bit too low. I think it was 16.5 last week. Just asking them to score 2 touchdowns and kick a field goal. And I kind of think that they can in this spot as well. I kind of think that Carolina should be able to score the football. A couple things I looked at, and then I took a little longer on the first game. So I'll share my screen here with you guys, let you know what I was kind of looking at. So first thing I wanted to see was how does Joe Burrow do coming off a loss as a favorite, right? He's 5-6 straight up coming off a loss as a favorite. Not the greatest number here, right? And that's over the course of his whole career. Then I also wanted to see how winless teams did if they are a road favorite in week 4. So you guys can see winless road favorites, 10-4 straight up, 8-4 against the spread. And this should say if it's week 4. So I wanted to see teams that are 0-3 specifically, but then still favored on the road. And you can see there's a pretty strong trend that says that they typically win the game and they typically cover the spread 8-4-2 against the number. I just watched the Panthers put up 36 points though last week against Las Vegas, and I just can't see a reason why we just don't go back to Carolina being able to score the football. Staying away from the spread, I just think that Carolina should be able to score the football. 36 last week. Cincinnati has, I put this in the bottom, they got some key players that's on the injury list, specifically on the defensive side. Sheldon Rankins being one of the biggest ones. And I do think that he's going to play, but I also saw that, Trey Hendrickson? He didn't play. He didn't practice yesterday. It's just an illness, though. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be out there. I see Lamar Chase pop up the injury, the shoulder injury. He was limited in practice yesterday. Trent Bell, the offensive tackle, did not practice with a knee injury, hamstring injury for Sheldon Rankins. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Bengals. Now, could they bounce back in this spot? Yeah, but I don't think that they're going to bounce back defensively. I like this team. I think that Andy Dalton, revenge game for him because he played for Cincinnati for so long. You can take that into consideration if you want, but I think that they can get 21 points. I thought that this total, team total was a tad bit too low. It only went up a field goal after scoring 36 points on the road last week. I just kind of think that they're building something here. I love Dave Canales as an offensive, play caller as well. So I like Carolina. Just short and sweet, I like Carolina to be able to score the football here. Their team total is 20.5. And I think that they can get 3 touchdowns in this game over the course of the full game as a home dog, getting 4 points here against Cincinnati. So that's something that's on my short list. I haven't quite bet it yet because I know Carolina also has some injuries. If you guys watched the game, they did, lose Adam Thielen to a hamstring injury when he caught the touchdown, and they got some issues, with on the defensive side of the ball more so than the offensive side of the ball. They only had Damian Lewis as a guard that didn't practice yesterday with an elbow injury. But outside of that, all of their other, key injuries and, personnel that didn't practice yesterday was on the defensive side of the ball, including Clowney. So, yeah, I kind of think that Carolina will be able to score the football here. I like Carolina to go up and over. Team total is listed at 20.5, and I think they can get to 21 points. It is 21 on a few books as well, so definitely shop around because the difference between 20 and 20 and a half and 21 is significant for sure. So that's what I'm thinking. Those were the 2 games that I kind of had a chance to deep dive into. I'll take some more time and kind of dive into a couple of the matchups. We'll be doing a propcast tomorrow again with my guy Munoz at probably 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for people that are interested. But let's go through the comments and see if you guys are agreeing with me here. And then we'll do a quick recap and get up off here. Alabama +2 against Georgia, right? I think they play Georgia this week, Mark. I did see that. Trevon says dogs of 5 or more trends will start to even out, and I agree. I mean, everything comes back down and kind of averages out. I agree with that. I think I mentioned that. But yeah, absolutely agree. I'm bucking that trend this week. Give me Dallas. Yeah, me says, yeah, the dogs won't eat forever. I agree with that. Justin says, already moved on the Bengals. He likes them to score the football against Carolina. I couldn't talk you off of that. Carolina's defense, not great. Thinks they get to 26. What up, Fred? He says, definitely taking Cincinnati money line defense. 1 pick, maybe. Do that. Missy says he's on Army -12.5. Dallas, Cincinnati, and Army for Scorpios graph. Meek says he likes the over 46.5. Panthers and red, Mark says. Okay. Missy says Indiana -7 is an auto bet. Covering all of their spreads. LJ says both these teams can't run the ball or stop the or stop the run. He'll pass. Okay. I think that's why you see points in it. I do think the full game probably goes up and over, but specifically like in Carolina to get 20, 21. I mean, you just look at it, Andy Dalton threw for 3 passing touchdowns last week. I think he could do the same thing. A young Jay Daniels did it, and now you got Cincinnati traveling and at a rest disadvantage as well. Daff, what up, bro? He says, "What's up, Chris? I see you. Easy money in the W. Let's eat this weekend, and I need it. I need the NFL to be generous to me, man. Definitely need it." Meat says, "I'm nervous. The Bengals defense might try to make a statement after getting embarrassed, though. Potentially. I just think that it's going to be more of a shootout. I do think it's going to be more of a shootout. I think Carolina can hang with them and get the touchdown in this game. So that's the way I'm choosing to play this one if I play it at all. But I have not made that bet quite yet. And I think that we'll keep it at that just for time purposes. I did want to talk about Philly and Tampa Bay, but we'll come back and probably do that tomorrow. Get into a few more games. If you're watching this and there's a game you want me to look into it and kind of speak on, leave it in the comment section and I can go back and prepare for that game today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. There's a couple other games that really intrigue me and a couple player props that I'll be talking about as well. But that'll be the show for today. Let's get back into a quick recap. Dallas minus the 5.5. Dak to go over his 1.5 passing touchdowns. I did bet this lightly, not a super heavy bet, but it's minus 125 on I think it was FanDuel. All the other books got it like minus 140 or more. Like I said, if Dallas is going to score the bet football, I think that they will. It's going to be through the air, in my opinion. So I like Dak to get up and over 2 passing touchdowns here. And I did take Dallas this morning minus the 5.5. The Carolina team total, I mentioned it, have not bet it yet, but 20.5 is also, I think, a really good number for Carolina. I think that they can score the football. Just don't find difficulty thinking that Cincinnati's going to come in and, I know they do for some aggression on the defensive end, but they're giving up 27 points per game, which is the 8th most right now. So I think that Carolina will, still be able to score the football in this one, even if they are in stops. So, resources, as always, are here. OddsJam, get you 20% off your first month using code CBC. Moneyballer, 50% off your first month using ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. Definitely looking to stay hot in the W and add a few NFL winners this week as well, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. As always, if you're still watching, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. Share the video. That's always helpful as well. The link for all my official plays are in the description of this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Thursday. Be back at it tomorrow.